This is day 264 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming share of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, it would be greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we are doing Siman Kuf Pei Beis, Sif Hey, to Siman Kuf Gimel, Kuf Pei Gimel, Sif Aleph. So, as you know, yesterday we started Hilchos Birchas Hamazon. We're talking about benching ala kos. And the Arukh HaShulchan writes here in Hey, B'yarli Dezesh Kosvu, Dezesh Kosvu, the kos Birchas Hamazon in al yain, that the cup of benching is only on wine. Lo dam le tam kiddush. It's not like kiddush. En al yain, which is only wine. Kamosh kosvu, kamosh nichto b'simum reisha on einav, which you'll see later on. And kiddush yesh kra. A kiddush that's a pasuk. The zachar yom Shabbos kacho. And from this week, the Zohar Yom Shabbos is actually my Baritza drushes out this. Zohar Yom Shabbos, the Kadsho, Zachreo al Hayayin. Remember it on wine. The Schirk CBI, because we know this that wine is linked to Schira, like it says in Shir Shirim. We'll remember your love over wine. But I feel that something that's asmachta b'alma, even those who hold that that's just an asmachta, it's not a real limud from Shir HaShirim. Can't really learn I love from Shir HaShirim. Who Kamoshi's bar Shama, as being explained later on in Reish Anav. There is an asmachta to say it's wine. I bring some as a long rubashas yain. In the Gemara, never mentions you have to have specifically wine. To the case, it just says it requires a cup. Now, obviously, when they had a cup, so their default, most of their drinking was wine. The Kilalu, in Besachim, there is a curse that to have a shakyuse shichra, man the makarash shichra. Somebody makes kiddush on beer, may his beverage be beer. Gamatov Eretz Yisrael beBavel, even today at the time of the Arukh HaShulchan. This is before Coca-Cola. So in Eretz Yisrael and above a rosh yasin yain, most of their drink was wine. And that was the beverage of the country. Below can say that's not true by us in Russia. And even share beer, it's hard for us to come by. Only rich people drink beer frequently, like today in America. But plainly the yain saraf habichem medina. By us, it would seem that whiskey is chemer medina. Achgam ze iav sharmitrei tame, but that can't be for two reasons. Yoker. It's not common because it's very expensive. Furthermore, the only yofel is shisia achar achila kayadua. It's not good to drink whiskey after eating, as is well known. I didn't know that. Some allow you to drink to make the bracha on borscht. Kabas, I don't know what it is. Borscht is obviously borscht, and Mishnah Berurah writes even though the masses drink for that, even though most people drink for that, not the masses. Shov Shias Hamonim, most of the masses drink for that. Nevertheless, it's not more chashuv than water. So therefore, Mishnah Berurah rejects use of borscht, and so does Arukh HaShulchan. He says, never say anybody does that. I've made vashkoin med on honey water, which is called mead. Vadei nachal baruch alav. It can certainly be good enough for kosher bracha. But lakritz ein lebarech. I guess lakritz is some sort of licorice juice, some sort. Well, you can't make a bracha on that. V'chein ein lebarech etzleinu mei limonad or seltzin. Lemonade or seltzer. They my bomb is just water. That which it says an individual he doesn't hold the cup in his hand. We say that we already wrote that this is unclear. And even those all the way it's only by wine, and not by other beverages, which evidently you can't hold in your hand, even when you're yachid. Vav, kol kosher bracha g'mo kosher Birchas Hamazon shel kiddush havdalah. Any cup of bracha, such cup of Birchas Hamazon or kiddush or havdalah, k'shetamo mixas me'akos. When you taste a bit of the cup, Abi Shaddai Nisha Barabias, even though there's 3 and more left in the cup, when somebody takes a bit of the cup, even though it's more bees left, possible. It's no good. That's called kos pogum. Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you taste it from the cup, it makes it pogum, damaged. Damaged sure because it's like the leftovers of a cup, and it's not appropriate to use for a kosher bracha. Because it's like a blemished animal. Would you bring this as an offering to your governor? It's unclear if this is only according to this specifically according to the opinion that Berachas Hamazon requires a cup. If I feel him answer a kos, so perhaps even if it doesn't require a cup, nevertheless, when you make a bracha on a cup, even though it's not required, it can't be damaged. Like all the other things in the 10 things which are required for kosher bracha, which the Rambam writes in the end of the 7 parak of Hilchos Brachos, as he says, the Rambam says, even though Birchas Hamazon does not require wine. In Birach Hayan, if you do use wine, so you have to rinse the cup, but from this we have evidence. Rambam does not write that it should not be damaged in this way that somebody tasted from it. Kiddush Perek Tes Shabbos, whereas in reference to Kiddush, she wrote Shelo Pagum, it can't be damaged. Shemayin Mishum Sfira Birchas Hamazon ain't her kos. From this we can derive that he holds that Birchas Hamazon does not require a kos, and therefore the Pagum were not concerned with Pagum. Upela Sharifah is clear cloud in Pagum. It's astonishing that we did not mention the halacha Pagum low the Perachas Brachos in kosher bracha, not in the 8th parak of brachas in terms of a kosher bracha. V'lo by Yerushalayim in Kiddush v'Avdallah, nor in Yerushalayim in terms of Kiddush v'Avdallah b'tzarich iyun. Why Pagum is not mentioned? Pagum lo have rakim shasa me'akos. It's only Pagum if somebody drank directly from the cup. But if he spilled from the cup into his hand, the shasa imash b'yodav, and he drank from that which is in his hand, lo mikre pogum. That's not called pogum. Mishnah Berurah even says if you dip your finger into a cup and put it to your mouth, that's also not pogum. The Kamoshi Yeshan, back to Arukh HaShulchan, the Kamoshi Yeshan Noshim seem just like the sensitive people. Shkasham lishtosi mashi shasa chaber b'piv. They have difficulty drinking something which their friend already drank from. Kamochin havi b'gamli and kosher brachos. In that manner, it's pogum for kosher bracha. Lo shasa me'akos. So since when somebody didn't drink directly from the cup, lo shaykh istanis kamuvan. Obviously, nobody's going to be so sensitive not to drink from a cup from which you poured into your hand. Okay, lo shaykh b'gam said that, but the cup is not damaged in terms of kosher bracha. Please say you're near at the dafkuk shedibek people akos kederach hashosin. So it says according to this, it would only follow its pogum if you put your mouth on the cup, as people normally do when they're drinking. But if you open your mouth and you pour it from the cup into your mouth, without your mouth touching the cup, that should not be pogum. Ella, but I saw one of the Golim, which in this case the Baal Tanya, who does not say that way. Now, you should know it's not just when you drink from the cup that it's pogum. Even when you drank from the barrel, and from the bottle is certainly the case, how do you call it pogum? Even from a small jug. But if it's like a huge wooden barrel, ain't like me, that's not a concern. But some people are concerned with that. Therefore, it's best to be concerned l'chatchila. There's somebody who's so stringent about pogum. Even when you have to dilute wine with water, if the water was pogum, also lim zog banas can't use them to dilute the cup. Mishnah Berurah wants to say that perhaps it's talking about wine which is so raw. In other words, so concentrated that you can't drink it at all without diluting it, and therefore the water is chashiv, and therefore the pagim on the water is spreads then to the wine as well. Back to Arukh HaShulchan, Vatam Mishum Chol Davar Pagum Ein Olel Davar Shabkedusha. Arukh HaShulchan gives less long reason. He says something is pagum, it shouldn't be used for Davar Shabkedusha, even if it's the water in the cup. Vatim Lama Lanu Tam Pagum. Don't be astonished. Why we're focusing on the the fact that it is pogum. Anyway, the cup's not full. In the cup holds more than Revis. It's not full. And one of the conditions of a kosher bracha, Shem Mole, Akos Yain Mole, Kamoshi's bar is going to be explained. The Yesh Lomer says the Arukh HaShulchan, the difference is like this. Because the shakal to kos katan miseh. That you can always pour the wine into a smaller cup if this doesn't fill this cup. Okigon sheshasa, but if it's pogum, won't do any good. Okigon sheshasa mat mizer. He really took a tiny sip to the dynamite that it's still full. But we can fix a kos pogum, as we will now explain. Ches. Case of the kos pogum. How do you fix a kos pogum? She has stifel lamat yain. You add a little bit of wine to the cup. The is that you drank from it. When you then add on more wine, it's fixed. Just like interesting sushto. Just like when you the mizbech in the base of mikdash is nifgam, gets a piece gets missing, and that's considered like when they do the astroyim at the kohen tzedoki with the nisuch hamayim on his legs. So so then if it's pogum, if you have that piece missing, you fill it in. It's fixed. So too that if you I'm sorry, it's fixed that way. Also, if you put the wine in the kos pogum back in the container, these bottle of kosher, it's bottle in the majority of wine, which is in the container. Of course, I'm assuming the majority of wine is still good. Majority of wine is in the bottle, not in the cup, and then it's kosher. The Arukh HaShulchan says, therefore, no, even if there's more wine in the cup than there is in the bottle, it's also nullified. Because the primary bittul is for the bit of wine which came into contact with the guy's mouth. The wine below that did not become pogum. That's why you're adding a little wine is sufficient. And the truth is that you don't have to turn the entire cup into the bottle, because you really have to turn just a little bit that was a little bit of wine which touched the mouth. But some people say this only works with the Evid. But what's preferable, and this is what people know to do, you add first a little of wine to the cup. And then you put it back in the bottle. And then you fill the kosher bracha from the bottle. The reason for this is we have to fix the damage by kos in the cup. Because the damage was from the cup. In other words, you have to fix the cup by removing everything from it and then pouring back in again. This is our custom, this is appropriate. You don't really have to add wine to the cup before pouring back in the bottle. What are all other beverages which don't ruin the wine are also okay. But water is better than any other beverage except for wine itself. Because water is specifically used to dilute wine. Therefore, even if he has more wine, you can use water to fix it. Unless the wine could get ruined by being so diluted. Water also should be called like we wrote. The Mishnah Tziyun says that the eitzah of adding a little bit of water or wine into the cup is not sufficient. Obviously, Arukh HaShulchan holds also it's not sufficient for l'chatchila, but it seems Maramur the other wouldn't be good. The Mishnah says that does require that the wine in the bottle be more than the wine in the cup if you're just pouring the wine back in the bottle without first pouring a little bit from the bottle into the cup. The Mishnah also writes that not specifically water, but other beverages, and he did not write that water is better because wine is diluted with water. Test, because I've been in Sif Dalit. You closest, I'm assuming Pegumim. It says right Sif Dalit that if the cups of the people who were around the table were pogum, then you have to put from the kosher bracha in their cups. Some don't require that. Klomar, meaning Shadarkan Hayah, Shia Kosel Kocha Misubim, their custom was that each one of the people present would have a cup. And Varach Motziyam, and then Bavarach makes is Motzi them. Echad, Shoisim Mikaiso. Each one then drinks from his cup. So it requires the cups of the people around the table. Lo Yibkumim will not be pogum. Therefore, they should pour a little bit from his cup into their cups. Should do it before he drinks. Then otherwise his cup becomes pogum. L'didu for them. I'm not sure. It sounds like we're talking about a case where obviously because they're Muslim, and therefore the kosas were pogum because they were used to drink during the meal. They're still in front of the people during because they're Muslim, and they drink after the meal when they to with the mevarek. But the problem is that the cups are pogum because they were used during the meal. So therefore, in order to fix that, they put in the additional wine from the kos of the mevarek, but it has to be from before the kos of the mevarek. The mevarek drinks himself. And those say you don't require that. They hold look up to the pogum raka kosher bark. The only issue of pogum is in the cup of the person making the bracha. But that you should know that that's Rashba Mesachim Shalom Midoemer Shas Loshen Kpeda Pogum. Since the language of the Shas is your makbira pogum, Shema Min Adin Iku B'Di'evet. Interesting. Kpeda means the Chatchila, not B'Di'evet. If you have no way of fixing the pogum, you can make the bracha even on a cup which is pogum. You'll ask, well, there's always water. The Yeshlamar could say, perhaps it's a case where the water will make it worse if you add it. Those are arguing Rashbam, you could die Rashbam is smuggle up Shaz Chak. Those who say the pogum is even possible with the Yemen, but the Rashbam is great enough we can rely on him in a pinch. And he holds, obviously the Rif holds the same way because the Rif doesn't bring this down. Because the Muslim got my Rambam came because he doesn't bring down Pogum, because the Muslim which Ram received Bob like we wrote previously. Kuf Bey Gimel, call it Dim Shesh Kosher because the Muslim book. All the dinim which are applied to the cup of benching. For me, so Perek Zayin the brachas. I started reading them kosher bracha. 10 things. Hadacha ushasifa. This washing and rinsing. Chai, it should be fresh wine. Umale and complete cup. Itur, you wrap your fingers around it. V'ituf, and you have a hat on. No lebshtei yadav, and you put it in your two hands. The nose to be a man. You take it in your two hands and you put it in your right hand, unless you're lefty. Magbiyam Makakatefan has to be more tefach all around. The nose thing and a bone, you're supposed to look at it. V'yeshim, some say Abmashagum Matan Lanche Beso, that some say send it also as a gift to the woman of the house. We only require 4 things. Hadachah shlifa, washing and rinsing. Chai, it should be fresh wine. Umale, and it should be full. V'tanya hadachah mivnim, what is washing and rinsing? Hadachas mivnim, it's washing on the inside. Shtifa chutz and rinsing is on the outside. Not the cup shouldn't just be clean on the inside, being on the outside. The time to sefta dim kancha yafe shaber dami. The sefta says if you wipe it well, that's equivalent to washing and rinsing. You don't need specifically washing and rinsing with water. The ikar shenaki, the main thing is that it should be clean. Therefore, if you wiped it well, that is sufficient. And it was ready, it was clean already, no matter what. Answer a klum, then you don't require anything. Make sure there's nothing left from last time the cup was used. Oh no. Because should even be crumbs left from if they use that to dip bread beforehand. The Zohar seems to say that washing and rinsing with water is essential no matter what. I ain't shum. I ain't says in brackets. I ain't says because I'm sharing Mordechai Barish Kei Nagu Olam. Meaning Olam is to do washing and rinsing. Because I'm Benoki and Tzarech Ein Shum, except unless it's clean. So it's astonishing it's not being the Zohar, which seems to require Hadach Shlifa even if it's clean, no matter what the circumstance. Mishnah says it's best to rinse it, even if there are wash and rinse, even if there's no crumbs involved, unless it is clean and shiny. Mishabura also writes, then the shards here, if you wipe it with a cloth from the inside and the outside, like a adach shlifa, until it's complete, it's completely clean, that's permissible, and he does not makbid like the Zohar.